Hi, welcome to All Things Amy today. Thanks so much for joining. Today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate chip sourdough sandwich bread. It's soft, chewy, and delicious. This is lightly sweet, but not too sweet, with that decadent taste of the chocolate. Start with a half a cup to a cup of sourdough starter, and then we're going to do an autolyze. So we're going to mix all the water and half of the flour. So a cup and a half of water, and then a cup and a half of flour. I break up the sourdough just a little bit before I add the flour, but you don't have to do much. And then we're going to wait until after we autolyze this to add the rest of the flour and the salt and the other ingredients. So now mix this in and then cover it with a wet towel and let it just sit and rest for 1 hour. Okay, now we will add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and mix that in, and then add 1 cup of chocolate chips. I like milk chocolate chips, but if you like a darker chocolate, feel free to make it even darker. Mix this in, and now we're ready for the rest of the flour, which is 1.5 more cups. So the total flour in this recipe is 3 cups of flour. As you add this flour and mix it in, you'll see that this dough is really wet and really shaggy, and it's a dough that we are not going to be working with very much at all with our hands. It's going to do most of its work in the bowl with a long raising time. Once you have this all the way incorporated in, go ahead and cover it with a wet towel again. And I want you to raise this for at least 5 hours, but up to 12 hours. I usually do this at nighttime and I raise it overnight. So it's an 8 or 10 hour raise, which is what this one was. Now butter a bread pan very heavily, very, very generously. And then you will go ahead and take this dough and kind of shape it very briefly. You won't be working with it much. I leave a little butter on my hands so that my hands don't stick to the dough too much. And I just plop this right out into my hands. I kind of round it out a little bit at the top and then plop it down right into the butter pan. That's simple. It's ready to do the second raise. We cover it with a wet rag again, or a wet towel, and it takes about 2 hours. I let this one go a little longer. I raised it for 3 hours, and so it was a little bit darker when I cooked it on the top. A little bit lighter and a little bit fluffier. I like it just a little bit denser than this, so I would recommend 2 hours instead of 3 hours. Cook it at 425 for 35 minutes. You can slice this up and eat it up. You can put a little butter on it. It doesn't need butter, but it doesn't hurt it either. And then if you go a couple days where it gets a little bit drier, make some French toast out of it. It is amazing. Have a wonderful day. And remember, all things done with love.